esteemed guests and delegates, I am pleased to announce that we have in our midst Mr. Ravi Bhatnagar, a distinguished alumnus of the Tata Institute of Social Sciences and Harvard Business School. Due to logistical delays, he could not join us sooner during a prior panel discussion. Mr. Ravi Bhatnagar is the current Director of External Affairs and Partnerships with Reckitt Benckiser, Africa, Middle East and South Asia. A motivator by nature, Mr. Bhatnagar has been instrumental in developing and delivering the immensely successful Dettol Banega Swachh Bharat campaign, along with various other programs aimed at improving lives through better public health and education. Mr. Bhatnagar has been honored by the Honorable President of India for his contributions to reducing open defecation. With such noteworthy accomplishments, Mr. Ravi Bhatnagar has brought immense pride to his alma mater, living up to its motto of reimagining futures at scales previously unimaginable. I would like to graciously invite Mr. Bhatnagar to share some pearls of wisdom and experience amongst this diverse delegation gathered today. Mr. Bhatnagar, please give a big round of applause.
Hi guys, very good afternoon. After lunch, it happens like many of us sleep. Many of us are actually asking questions. That's a very nice sign, like still, we are awake and we are asking. It's my privilege to be here on the campus again. I came here last year also and I spent some time. It's interesting to see how my tribe is increasing. So I was actually discussing with someone today, like we were 10 when we were a batch here. I passed in 2004 from health administration batch with research. Journey was very exciting, like by virtue of studying here and some academically good marks and other things, got the GRD Tata Full Fellowship, went to Harvard Business School, did my MBA, came back, gave exam for the World Bank and for the EDB, and joined the bank as a YP, but left it very soon in 1 year's time. And then thought like, let me put my efforts in doing something really good, which is actually again reminded today by these two presentations which I was able to see. Working with the LWE districts, which is a left-wing extremist districts in India, on diarrhea, on malnutrition, on working with the female sex workers and all that. From there I started the career. Moved on further, started working with the Clinton Foundation, used to report to Hillary Clinton on the drug access programs and breaking the cartels of Indian pharmaceutical companies who were supplying the HIV medicine in countries like Uganda, Ethiopia, Botswana and others, where the epidemic was around, you can say almost 40% population was HIV positive, and drugs were supplied from India because India is one of the larger exporter of this medicines, the cocktail drugs and other things. From there moved to the corporate assignment 3.5 years back now. So started looking into the work in India, was basically taking care of the external affairs and strategic partnerships. From there moved to South Asia and now Asia, Middle East and Africa, which means around 40 countries. Few of the countries are very interesting to work with, like Indonesia, Malaysia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India and many others. I see a lot of guys from PMIR course from TISS around me, around 40 of them actually, they report to me in various capacities. So it gives me a lot of pride to be there as a part of this big community here, and the friends from the public health background and social epidemiology, etc., etc. What's interesting is why I come to TISS, why I have started coming to TISS is I always think let's give back to the campus in terms of at least a presence. Sorry, I couldn't come from the morning flight, the first one from Delhi to Mumbai, but then I thought it will be very wasteful Saturday if I'm not coming to the campus and not spending time. I'm very sure we are all studying hard, working hard. This is also a perspective to give the long presentations and long speeches, but actually the ideal size of listening to someone is is maximum 60 seconds. If you are not able to communicate your story in 60 seconds to 90 seconds, people don't listen to you much. And I am very sure things are changing in the public health space also. With the new things coming up like artificial intelligence coming, the bots, etc., etc. And I am seeing it like how blockchain is being used in the companies, in the public health sector. If I have to say, okay, these many kids were SAM kids and these many kids were MAM kids. So many a times, like, organizations just give the big numbers until unless someone do the DLHS or NFHS, etc., etc. Good thing is to have the markers, the face markers, where now you have the Apple can when you can use the phone to open your phone with your facial recognition. Why not to actually see the kids who are SAM kids and you have the right data, etc., etc., and you can track the journey of this kid. What really inspires me is on 3rd of February 2013, there was an article which came into the Time magazine. I'll just open my phone and tell you what was the title of the Times magazine on that day. Give me a sec, I will just take a second to tell you. Yeah, it says, this cover, there was a cover of, on the cover there was a small kid on the cover. It says this baby could live to be 142 years old. I was really surprised like how it is possible, when it will be possible. We will be able to do something on that. Can we improve children's health? Because the initial 1,000 days of the children, like, that will really change the future of the kid, and that definitely it will also impact on the GDP of the country and the spending done on the disease. And with Ayushman Bharat in place, like, I really think like until unless the prevent framework and promote framework of the public health is not strengthened, a lot of money will be going out to the insurance companies, which will be basically the treatment part. So as a public health person, I do think like we also need to start looking into the P&L modelings, etc., which is profit and loss, because either these are companies or INGOs or other companies like the startups, etc. It's very important to see the profit and loss, and sometimes it's much beyond the return on investment. It's more about basically the purpose-led business. It's more about like how purpose comes first than generating your profits in the business. Today I was reading one of the articles from the World Economic Times forum, like there is a 13-year guy who has found a solution to early detect the pancreatic cancer. A 13-year-old. Isn't really interesting? Apple 4 watch which has come can diagnose your heart rate, can give you your ECG. You don't need a paramedic or someone to help you with all that. Technology is moving fast, and my only submission to all of you is basically time is changing very fast. We need to equip ourselves, but some basic fundamentals always remain the same. Two things I would like to say on that. One is trust. Trust in your faculty, trust in your institute, and trust in your fellow beings you work with. That's the first thing. Because trust is the fundamental thing of all the things. You are working in a small team, a big team, or a super big team, or multi-country team, etc. Second thing is epidemiology by nature. When we study about the multiplier, the impact multipliers and blended finance and other things, looks very interesting. But we should not forget the basics. The basics come from the time and energy we put in learning and disseminating. Just to share a small anecdote, when I was in TISS, my first research paper in Lancet came in the second year. I was one of the persons who was part of one of the journals. And I never, after working also in the corporate sector and many others, like I have around 22 publications in BMJ, in PLOS and Lancet altogether, as an author, as a co-author, etc. So learning should not, fall down. So we should have learning regularly, continuously, if we really want to grow. And money is bigger in the market, just to tell you all. Because many of us, when we are in TISS, in health administration, hospital administration, we do think, so really is the market ready to pay you? Market is ready to pay you almost equal or more than other courses which are available in the market. And you guys have very big reputation from TISS. And last year I recruited around 10 people from TISS. There is a lady called Shraddha, who was today at Amitabh Bachchan's residence and giving her brief about the sanitation outcomes. I have the picture. I couldn't put it here, but happy to share with the faculty members and Dr. Shalini Bharat. Last but not least, thank you for accepting me as one of the speakers, and all apologies for delay to come here. Looking forward to have a very meaningful relationship with TISS and others also who have come from other universities and colleges. And may our tribe increase with full wisdom, and we do the best. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you for this inspiring address, Mr. Bhatnagar. I am sure your words of wisdom have been accepted by many of our students, prompting them to follow in your footsteps. I would like to have student delegates please offer you a memento as a token of our gratitude. Please come ahead. Can you please give a big round of applause? Yes.
Diversity is a very big agenda for the women folks. Diversity is a very big agenda. Everyone wants to have women coming in the leadership position and breaking the ceiling. So best of luck. Thank you.